Okay, and we're live.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Unprepared. I am Megan, and I am unprepared, except I am prepared to play the second half of this wonderful game with these amazing people. So, we are going to do a go round of introductions, then we're going to jump right into ages 2 and 3 of our dialect game. So, like I said, I am Megan. I will be your facilitator for this game of dialect. I am playing the character of Isla, who also goes by Palisade, which is her mutant superhero name. And I am playing the Protector archetype on our roving, legally distinct helicarrier full of mutants. Not a cult, just a
Definitely
legally
not.
distinct group of mutants just trying to make our way in the world. So I'm gonna throw it down to Nat, who, yeah, you're muted. Yeah.
Shit, I wasn't prepared.
Oh no.
So am I just introducing myself, or
Yeah, introduce yourself, your character, and then yeah.
All right. Hi, I'm Nat. I'm excited to be playing this year, also part of the No Initiative crew. I'm going to be playing Seti today, also known as Servo, who is a very precise and pedantic individual who is the Scrounger archetype and keeps the Nomad, or legally distinct helicarrier, TM, in the air. I'm really excited to play Ages 2 and 3 today, and I'm gonna chuck it over all the way that way to Sam.
Hey, I am Sam. I go by they, she. I am going to be playing our zealot today, whose name is Ella, but goes only by their codename Spectre. And I am not here for anybody's bullshit on this helicarrier.
I love it.
Live your gift.
Not a cult.
Not a cult. If we were,
Yep.
though.
If we were, but we're not. But if we
Ella.
were, but we're not. All right, and that leaves Gabe.
Hi, I'm Gabe James Games. I am playing Owen, also known as Carbon, who is the Jester archetype. He is, I don't even know if it's comic relief, because I feel like he's the funniest to himself.
I don't know. We need him. That's for
That's-
sure.
Yeah.
There's plenty for him to go around, don't worry.
He's the heart of the group, if nothing else, you know?
I mean, who do you think made Oren Day? We needed that shit.
That's
Yeah, we
true.
needed Orin Day.
And it totally wasn't him just trying to give him reason to celebrate as well. No, it was totally for group morale.
Yep. And now you have a turtle.
Yes, named Isla.
Yep. It's fine.
She said we could keep it!
Keep the Mom said you could keep the turtle. You know, so you get to keep the turtle. Let's just see how all this goes.
I'm just wondering where he found the turtle.
Don't worry about it.
Don't ask questions.
Don't worry about where the turtle's origins are. So last time we did our world creation and our first age. We are going to start with our age transition into age 2, which is where I don't want to say things start getting a little sad, but they start getting a little sad, or at least like a little we're heading towards this way. This is a game about how languages die and how an isolation ends, so it's kind of inevitable. So what I'm going to do is to transition our age. I'm going to read 2 separate options. We will, as a group, decide which option we want to go in with our story. We will evolve one of our aspects, and then we'll do another round of word creation and play through our second age. So entering age 2 is an event to foreshadow the end of the isolation. It finds its way into all conversation and is impossible to ignore. So that's the overall tone of what age 2 is the beginning of the end, more or less. So the 2 story options we have, so the first one is, we had no choice. The compound would have collapsed without their help. We let an outsider in. We thought we could control it, but they have the ear of someone important. Why have some suggested we bring in more? And then option 2 is, the outside world has changed. It was dangerous before, but it looks to be far worse now. We smell ash in the air and hear planes overhead at night. There are whispers that war is brewing. How do we pull further into our isolation?
Oh boy.
So, yeah, so those are our options. One involves bringing some outsiders in, and the other involves trying to keep more of the outside out.
Oh man. Either I feel like will be a lot of fun to explore. Does anybody feel a particular, like, I don't know, pull?
Literally, while Megan's reading the first one, I'm like, oh, I want this one. And then Megan's reading the second one, I'm like, oh, I want that one. So, like, I'm good.
So that's a lot of help in decision making.
Oh
but-
boy.
But
Can
also
you,
that's
like, read, like, the bullets points for the first one
Yeah.
again for me, please?
yeah. We had no choice. The compound would have collapsed without their help. We let an outsider in. We thought we could control it, but they have the ear of someone important. Why have some suggested we bring more in?
Okay. Ooh.
And then the other one, the outside world has changed. It was dangerous before, but it looks to be far worse now. We smell ash in the air and hear planes overhead at night. There are whispers that war is brewing. How do we pull further into our isolation?
Oh man.
So I see two things happening. One, something is wrong with the helicarrier of some sort. Like, and it's a malfunction that even Servo couldn't manage.
Yeah.
Or two, if we're in the air already and we're just on the deck, like if fighter planes are coming and they go right past us, because then that's ominous and terrifying. Like they weren't coming for us, they were going for something else.
Right. So it just depends on what we want to explore. Do we want to explore us becoming even more isolated, or do we want to explore how we reconcile, like, interacting with the outside world after pulling away the first time?
Oh man.
Like, I want to let y'all decide. I'm leaning one way or the other, but they're both really good. But I don't want to be the one that makes the decision,
I don't
because
think there's a wrong choice at all. I think I like the idea of needing to grapple with, like, bringing somebody in. Like that sort of unknown new element, and how that can affect an isolation.
Yeah. Especially, I think with our theme, it makes it interesting, because if they are not a mutant, that changes a lot.
yeah. Like
That's
it
true.
says that they have the ear of someone important, which is helpful for us. But yeah, not just being a normal person.
I like
All right. Yeah.
I like it.
Cool. So that is the way we are going to go. So now what we do, now that we have chosen that path, we will evolve one of our aspects, which basically means we take one of our three main aspects and we make a change to it to reflect what is happening in the new age. So in my mind, the first thing that pops into my head is what the one that would be easiest and most, it makes the most sense to evolve, would be evolution through seclusion.
Yeah.
Because we are choosing to not be so secluded anymore.
See, my first thought was changing the nomad so it's like unreliable. So we need help to keep it in the air.
So I think, I mean, with either of those, what the aspect is, what it sounds like is the aspect is going to be evolving to something along the lines of, like, we do what we have to stay, like we ask for help when things get super desperate.
Yeah.
We just need to figure out what kind of, how to
Like
aspect that up so it sounds.
Yeah, I like the idea of, we do what we must to, like, I don't know, we do what we must to keep moving or something like that.
Yeah, like,
Oh my god, I'm so sorry, there's so much traffic sounds right now.
Like what we must to maintain or something.
Yeah.
Ooh.
We do
What we must to
maintain.
persist.
I like
Ooh,
it.
I like that.
I like those.
So is it the nomad that we are evolving?
Uh,
I kind
honestly, it could be either.
Right? I feel like the nomad means that the change of becoming less isolated is more forced, you know, because then it's like our home is forcing us to
Yeah.
need to reach out. Whereas
Yeah, that's
otherwise,
like SETI went. Like, here's the math. We're not going to stay in the air another 2 months without some
Right.
sort of outside help.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I like the idea of going with the nomad. Sorry, Gabe, were you gonna say something?
No, I was just gonna say I like it. I was just I was just watching this one because I was like, I have no idea what the hell to say, so I'm just gonna go with what everyone else thinks because that's smart. And these people make smart decisions usually. We'll see what happens.
You make
definitely-
wonderful
give it-
decisions.
Give it time.
I definitely like the idea of SETI having to kind of lay down the, like, this ain't gonna work, fam conversation.
Yeah.
I'm sure the council loved that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Um,
it's definitely something, you know, Spectre would certainly be fighting against, like, tooth and nail, the idea of letting an outsider in, especially somebody without powers.
And SETI
Oh,
doesn't
yeah.
like it either. He's just like looking at the math. Like,
Right?
It's like,
That
it's
would,
this or die.
yeah, I feel like that would be kind of like the big deciding factor of, like, fine, there really is no choice, kind of, too.
Right.
I like
if SETI says there's no choice,
Yeah.
There really is no choice.
Man, we really are bones.
Yeah. All right. So now that we have done that, the last thing that we can do, and this is optional, is if you have any cards if you have a card in your hand that you want to discard in exchange for drawing an additional age 2 card, you are able to do that.
Ooh.
Everyone should have one age 2 card in their hand already. But if
I
there
would
is
like to
one
do
that
that.
yeah, so
Just because I have a card that's similar to something we already have on the board.
yeah, so let me
Okay, so we
I'll
should
just-
have one age 2 card, you said, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then we can trade out
Yeah.
age
So
1.
just if you want to just toss it on the playing surface and delete it and then draw one from the age 2 deck.
Oh, okay. Let's see.
One card to myself.
Yes. Yes, yes.
I don't know. This could be good, I guess.
I have 2 of the same card now.
Do you?
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna discard 1, 2. Deal 1, 2.
I guess I know what I'm doing for age 2.
Okay, but we're only supposed to keep one in our age 2 deck, right?
No, you can have if you discarded an age 1 and drew an age 2 instead, you can have multiple age 2 cards. That's
okay,
totally
okay,
fine.
okay.
Just gives you options.
And my understanding is you can still play age 1 cards in age 2.
Oh yeah, yep. It does not matter. Yeah. So if you have an age 1 card that you like want to hold on to, by all means, they just get like a little more involved as you go on. But yeah, you can play age 1 like any cards during any age.
Okay. Ah. I'm so bad at Roll20 stuff.
Do you need me to deal you one?
I guess, or do I just deal myself? I don't want to, like, accidentally give everybody one.
Yeah, no. Just do deal and then put in 1 and then click your name.
Here we go, thanks. I didn't want to, like, click and have it automatically, just, like, give everybody a bunch of things. Because
Yeah,
with my
and
luck...
even if
I would have
it's
just
not the end
thanked
of the
you.
world.
It's
Yeah,
fine.
they're like, yeah, no worries. Okay. So something to keep in mind as we go is just kind of fleshing out who these outsiders are that we brought in. So
Yeah.
thinking about that as we like go through our scenes and come up with more words. They never have to like factor into the scenes or anything like that, but just kind of having an idea of what it is they did for us and continue to do and that kind of thing. Just as a thought to keep in mind. But otherwise, we are ready to go on through to age 2. So if anyone has a card that they think would be good to pop off with, then we'll pop off.
Well, I have new ritual, which feels like it could work.
Ooh.
Yeah. With the passage of time, our routines change. A new daily ritual has become common in the isolation. Define the new ritual and name it. And then the flavor text is the new rhythm of our days.
That sounds like a really good thing to start a new age on.
Right? That seemed appropriate.
Yeah. So, what is this new ritual? Like, how does... Because for right now, there's only one outsider that has come in. But there are some people who want to bring in more people, but as of right now, there's just one outsider here. Like, how does this one outsider, in the whispers of some people wanting to bring more, and what new ritual has that created in our society? That's definitely not a cult.
Definitely not a cult. 100%. I'm definitely not just Magneto.
No, because Magneto can like control metal and stuff, and you can't do that. So you're
Yeah.
nothing like Magneto.
And I'm definitely nothing like Shadowcat.
No.
Yeah, you can't be like something unless the obvious aspects of the two of you are the same.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So, and like obviously this is all legally distinct.
Oh, naturally.
So, new ritual.
No. My instinct is like getting stuck kind of on existing things we have, you know? Like,
Well, I mean, you can use that to jump off of, because like obviously this is, if it's a new ritual, like the other
True.
thought is like it replaces, not necessarily like replaces something, but
upgrades. Levels.
right, like it doesn't replace like any of our words that we've already played or anything, but it could replace another ritual that we hadn't talked about in depth or anything like that. Like it could just be a new...
I wish you could all
Wait,
see my cuddling cats right now, because it's adorable.
Babies.
The babies. Because my first instinct was like something sort of around either when people leave the ship or return to it, kind of like the way we'd come up with census for when people come back. Kind of like, you know, something about not like reaffirming our identity or something, either by not allowing more people in or by being more selective about who leaves or something. I don't know.
Is this like something like if you're coming back on the Nomad, do you need to like pop off a little bit of your powers or whatever to like prove that you are... I mean, like everybody knows everybody, but is this like something where it's like making sure that no outsiders are trying to sneak on? Like there needs to be some kind of like
Maybe
like
we
on
have
a
like
like
a
on
daily
a cruise
code.
ship when you get on and off, you need to like scan your key in so they track that you've left.
I mean, it could be like a verbal code, changes every day.
Ooh.
Like, if we're going to security minded, it's like, yeah, we'll make sure you're the same person who left.
So then just the name of the ritual, but then like the code can change, which is easy.
Yeah, or is the ritual like every morning, like everyone wakes up with like whatever the day's like code word is in like slipped under their door or like in an email or something like that? Is the ritual like every like the changing of the code every morning?
That's not bad. I was imagining the ritual as something you do when you come back. Like that being the ritualistic
Right.
moment.
Like a call and return kind of thing.
Yeah. Maybe the call out could be is always the same, and that could be the name of the ritual, and the call back changes.
And that's like the changing code word.
I like that. Quite a bit, actually.
Yeah.
So then the ritual would be the active
Or to
that,
just be like Like, what if it's just like the call?
the call?
Could just be call, and I have a dumb idea around it like being named after like the first code, so it's like a color. It's just like some random color, and it makes no sense.
I mean, yeah, like I feel
like
like
that.
codes are good, like harder to crack when they don't make sense.
Yeah.
the
So
ones
you walk
that-
up and someone says Vermilion to you, and you're supposed to say Alpha 24, and it makes sense because you're on the inside.
I like it.
Yeah. So what is the ritual just called the call, or is the ritual, is there another name for it?
Ooh.
Your card, Nat.
Actually, it was my card.
No, it was
It was
Sam's card.
Sam's card.
Oh, it was Sam's
I
card.
think I like
Well,
the idea for the ritual being the word or something that's used as like the regular call. Like maybe at one point it was, the call or something, but I like the idea that it's just sort of been shortened by this age or something to like, just like, if we wanted to do a color-based kind of thing or something like that. I don't know. I think I like that. But the call also just sounds epic.
Like, it sounds
And-
so much more dramatic than like it actually is. But
Right.
yeah, it is also like a really big deal to everybody.
Seriously. Oh man, I
Yeah.
keep like changing my own minds now too, because I'm like, oh, but the call is like an easier way to just sort of refer to it, like in conversation.
Because you could be like, oh, make sure, like, be like, if you're leaving today, make sure you remember the call.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, you're not coming back, like, you're not getting back on unless you remember it.
And then it's like, if you're somebody who's not supposed to be here and you don't know what the call means, you're kind of like, what the fuck? What?
And do we hide this from our new outsider? So they can't tell anyone else on the outside?
I would think so, yeah.
I think so. And then it's kind of like the changing code word is like a like a further sort of safety, like,
Yeah.
because if it's something everybody's sort of doing whenever somebody comes back, it would be easy for like a one outsider, I think, to pick up on something.
Right.
But if the
Yeah.
conversation, if the call changes slightly, it's like hard
Right.
to keep them on their toes,
I'm just trying to think of colors that sound cool.
right?
There's so many
Chartreuse.
colors that sound cool. Cerulean.
Ooh,
Cerulean.
cerulean.
So long though.
I like that. It could work too, because it's kind of like, I don't know, maybe the original call was like a phrase or something, like a phrase or a question that had to be responded to that like had that color in it.
Do you like these cerulean banners?
Right?
No, they should be violet.
Yeah. Or the sky is such a lovely cerulean today, or,
Yeah.
and then it's
Black.
just a different response each time. I like it.
All right. So what's our word?
Oh man. Do we want to stick with cerulean?
We certainly can. That's a
I'm
good
here for it.
color.
You seem to like it.
All
I
right.
don't know. I'm up for whatever, really. I'm excited about literally every idea that somebody has proposed so far.
So maybe it's like a clipping of cerulean. Maybe it's just like
Ooh.
Seru.
Seru.
Yeah.
Seru. Yeah, and then it's just like everything keeps getting shortened. Kind of.
But it's like, don't be like, yeah, you can shorten it when you're referring to it colloquially, but doing it
Yeah.
is serious business. Like, you
Yeah.
don't mess around. Like,
Yeah, I like that.
this isn't a joke. There is an outsider here. Like,
For sure.
be careful.
I dig it. Yeah. So do we want to go with Sarah, something like that, like a shortened
Yeah.
thing?
I like it. Yeah.
Sarah.
All right. So,
Sarah.
Sam, what is this scene and who is in it?
Oh, that's right. I forgot that. That's
So what
also
was
part
the-
of playing
the-
a card.
Yeah, what is the scene prompt
Let's see. So
at the bottom?
let me pull it back up. The new rhythm of our days.
Ooh.
Right. Let's do, I guess, Isla, because I feel like it would make sense, at least, you know, maybe you're in charge of the, like, security aspect.
That makes sense.
And, I guess, sorry, I'm also trying to remember everybody's, like, character name.
I say in the Zoom chat we have all of our names.
Oh, thank you. Nice. So, yeah, so let's do Isla and Seti, trying to get some stuff. You know, Owen, you're going out too. Let's do it. I want to see the three of you do a thing.
Yeah, like this feels like whose line is it anyway? It's like, all right, I'm gonna see.
Right? I want to see you go.
So maybe.
And we did a lot of two people scenes last week. I think it'll be cool to see like three.
Yeah, like maybe this is one of the first times like doing it. Like maybe we're getting something set up to like better handle the influx. Like that's what. Like unless Seti went out and is coming back. Because Isla doesn't. I am under the impression that Isla like does not leave the Nomad. Like she just is there.
Yeah, I'm kind of picturing this as like the return trip. Like,
yeah,
you know, everybody's got to verify who they are with the call and stuff.
Said he could be collecting data on how people engage with it to better optimize it. Which for him, because he doesn't really forget things, just represents him being around and listening.
That's true. Yeah, maybe I would like ask, be like, can you compile some data? Like, we're trying to figure out if this works.
Probably just snuck out there.
Yeah,
it was too late.
Yeah, so yeah, I think this is like probably like I just can't stop imagining like a cruise ship, like when you're coming back onto a cruise ship at the end of the day and you're like waiting in the line, you've got to like scan yourself back in. So I think like I was like got probably a clipboard and is just like kind of like writing stuff down. It's like so it seems, and just turn aside, be like, it seems to be going well. I think we're just missing a couple people before we can leave.
We have an indeterminate number of Owens still out.
That definitely, that sounds right. Do we remember how many left this morning?
I believe 7-ish left.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But of course that can change.
Yeah. Well, let's hope all of them were paying attention during the new assignment, the new code assignment this morning.
You remember it? Said he looks at Isla.
Well, of course I remember it. I make it. But this Sarah changes every day. Well, for everybody else.
Why are you doing that thing where you look down when you don't know something? Because I do that all the time, so I recognize it. Because I'm a bad liar.
No, I know it.
Oh, and are you suggesting that Palisade has forgotten our Seru?
Yes. Yes, thank you. That's exactly it. Yeah, that. You forgot it.
This is easy to test. I could write it down.
Yes.
And then Isla could share it.
Yep. Sound fine. If it's going to make... Can you compile all of you while we do this? How many are you? How many are there of you coming back onto the ship, Owen?
And you say that, and then it's almost like a magnet, like, and Owen just like, oh, well, that's one. Oh, I didn't.
There
get a
are
chance
more
to ask
coming.
him. Yeah, I feel it.
Well,
Oh.
To be fair, if they morph with Owen Prime, the percentile chance that they are an infiltrator goes down significantly.
That's true.
Well, that's true unless Owen has discovered the ability to assimilate those who are not him into himself.
It is why I intoned that it goes down significantly, but does not eliminate.
Mm.
I wonder if I can do that.
That would be interesting.
I'm gonna
Terrifying,
try that.
but
I'm gonna try that
interesting.
with the turtle.
Oh,
Isla is an important member of our company. We made it the official Orin Day mascot last Orin Day.
That's true.
We can't have it dying.
I bet you that Isla didn't forget the password.
the password is Romeo14. Please get onto the ship.
And then there's like six more to come in. Oh, wait, where was that extra one? Oh, never mind.
Owen, as much as I hate to admit this to you, but you do actually need to have your copies initiate and complete Sarah when they return.
What? Okay. And then like 8 of them pop out.
That is
Romeo 14.
Just in chorus.
Yeah, do they say it all at the same time, or is it like slightly off? So it's
Nope.
just like
All at the same time, and it's kind of creepy. And then they're like, they all lean over. We're really glad that Isla said it before. I'm glad you just pulled us in so we could get the password because we had no idea. Me neither. I mean, and then they all just like sloop back in.
SETI looks at Pyle and goes, we may need to implement more stringent requirements for SETI.
Yeah. I'll bring it up at the next council meeting, I suppose. But in the meantime, Owen, we were waiting on you, so if you want to make your way on board, we can lift off.
Okay.
Make sure you remember to feed the turtle.
Oh, always. Owen 17 is doing that right now.
It occurs to me that you never referred to the turtle using its name.
No. I was talking to the turtle. Oh, you meant Isla.
It
I
is
do.
a turtle.
So? You're a...
We have significant science to suggest they have feelings.
Well, yes, but you try having the turtle named after you and then see how you feel about that.
Well, turtles are really smart and enduring and usually wise and stalwart and steadfast. And it's something that I cherish. So I can change the name if you don't want to be complimented.
Owen, please go back to your room. You can keep, the turtle can keep their name.
I make another Owen and we high five and then we walk away.
Isla, I'm sorry to say, I think we have an outlier in our data.
Oh, do we? And that is?
SETI just looks in the direction that Owen walked off in.
Well, as long as he's part of the data pool, there's always going to be an outlier in the data SETI, so that is just something we need to adjust for.
Can do.
And scene. GG.
I enjoyed that thoroughly.
Wonderful,
GG,
wonderful.
baby.
Is there a sound effect when Owen makes copies and then collects them again?
It's like popping balloons whenever one comes in. And then whenever he makes one, it's like, whoop.
Oh my god, that's amazing. I love it. I picture Owen like summoning all of his copies back, kind of like when like Thor is trying to like wait for his hammer to return, and if you time it wrong, like the conversation just gets awkward.
Like, oh. Mistimed that one. It's fine. We persevere.
Now the worst thing is, Owen's copies can just like pop out of existence. There's no reason for them to come back to him. I think he just likes it.
Just
It puts a warm feeling in his belly.
Yeah, it's like
And
it's
it's
like having a full stomach.
and it's theatrical.
That's true.
There's nothing theatrical about just being like, and they're gone now.
He's
That's
the
true.
worst. That's my son.
You know, there could be a difference. Like maybe if they don't make it
Beautiful
back, you
garbage
lose.
son.
You don't get the memories or something.
Yes, I like that. If they come back, you get
Ooh.
memories. If they don't come back, you don't.
That's cool. That's
That's
actually
smart.
Just have
really
empty
awesome.
You have empty tummy and no beloved memories.
Y'all, I'd read this comic book, just saying. This legally distinct comic book. With these
It wouldn't be a very long run though.
Totally unique characters.
Mini series. It'd be a mini series.
Oh
Alright.
gosh.
Let me look at my cards to see if I have anything.
I
Yeah.
want to go.
Oh,
Do
yes.
I want to
Go. Do it.
I
You
want to
won't.
make a scene with Owen and Spectre.
Oh.
Ooh, what's your card?
Faction.
Oh my god, I love this. Oh, I love this scene prompt so much. It's
And
like one of
I-
my favorite cards.
I want so I think it's gonna be Owen talking to like 3 or 4 of himself. I really don't think we need to be stuck here. No, I agree. It's just we could do so much good out there. We could just live our lives. Our lives, they don't have to be separate. And I think at that point, Spectre probably just walks in because Owen didn't shut the door because he's dumb.
Yeah. So what is the faction that we're naming? Is it a faction of people who believe what Owen believes in, that like there isn't a reason to stay isolated now that like we have somebody from the outside in, or is the
Yes.
faction okay?
Because
So what would
it's very
yeah.
similar to that living our gifts thing.
Mhm.
We are just as much members of society.
Right. All right. So now I'm gonna go to my beloved thesaurus.com.
So, are you just gifters?
I'm just because I would say, yeah, is that what you want to attach that word to, is living our gifts, or would, because I feel like it could also work well with
Oh no.
evolution through seclusion, if it's something that's going against wanting to be secluded.
Yeah, I had it backwards in my head. So if that was what we were doing, that would be the name of the other group.
Yeah.
Is this aligning it, or is this just naming it per se?
So it's naming it, but all of
Okay.
the words like are
aligned, yeah.
tangentially related to it,
Okay.
to one of the aspects.
This one's weird because nominally, you're describing a word for the concept of faction.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it probably
yeah.
is related to living our gifts, because it's almost like living is the gift, and this is just a gift that goes with living.
Yeah, because the thing is, a group emerges within the isolation with a strong opinion about how things need to change.
Like I think
Name them.
this group feels like they need to leave the isolation.
Okay.
And
So
one of the reasons that it makes Spectre go well is because Spectre is like, this is the life. This is we are just gifted.
This is the way.
What was it that you said, Nat, as a name suggestion?
Gifters.
The gifters. We're gifters.
Gifter.
I kind of like it. Is there any other suggestions? I'm open.
No, that sounds.
So then the faction is really the people who want to stay called the Gifters? Is that it? Or...
Yeah, because that's like, I would.
But it can be opposite of what you'd expect.
Yeah. Honestly, the faction is probably just a bunch of Owens.
A bunch of Owens who think that the isolation needs to end.
Yes.
I mean, if Owen decides that this is how this word is getting used, Owen can do it himself.
That's true.
You can't stop that inexorable tide of usage.
That's very true. Yeah, so the faction believes that this needs to end.
Yeah.
And the prompt for the scene, which is one of my favorites in the world, in like any game that has this as a prompt, makes me so happy, which is a disagreement made public.
Okay, I think
Because
actually,
I love a good disagreement
I think
in
I
an
have
RPG.
I think I have an idea. Okay, yeah. So Owen is gonna go find Spectre.
Can just as a Nat request, can Seti just be there?
Yeah, sure. Seti can just
Cool.
be listening in. That's fine.
I mean, it's
Excellent.
public.
Said he's just eating lunch.
Right. Yeah, Spectre, I guess, will... Here, yeah, if Seti's eating lunch, we're in, like, the galley then, maybe.
Yep.
That seems nice and public.
And I think everyone's there. Because if we're all having lunch, I think everyone is there at this point. It's the lunch gathering, so Isla being there, Spectre, Seti, it's gonna be chaos. I'm here for it.
So Isla and Seti are eating together because Isla's one of the few people Seti can tolerate for long periods of time.
Yeah, because they're just like sitting in like a comfortable silence. Because like they're like, I'm sure like I was probably just like going over notes and stuff, just like a comfortable silence where it's like said like, oh, did you hear such and such? Oh, interesting. And then back to silence again.
Did you hear this? Of course I did.
They're like, oh, yeah. Do you have an opinion? No, not really. Okay. So Hyla and Seti are just having a lovely, comfortable silence lunch.
I love it.
So Owen's gonna walk up to Spectre, who's also probably eating, I assume.
Yeah, I'll be eating probably by myself.
And this is
but
weird because Owen,
nearby.
I don't think talks to you very much.
No, so this would be very unusual, I think.
Spectre, I have a question.
Huh? Yeah, what's up?
Do you think we should actually be in isolation?
I like look around, like I feel like I'm being set up for some weird Owen joke. And I'm like, I mean, yeah, of course I do. Why?
I don't know. I found a piece of paper from there was that rumor thing about like the gifters or something. I found a piece of paper, and as ridiculous as it is, some of it like seemed reasonable. Why do we have to isolate ourselves? We're people just like everyone else in the world.
I mean, Carbon, you've been, with us since we came on here. We can't trust anybody but each other. Let me see that paper. What bullshit is this?
And it probably says abilities do not make you different. Emotions can bring you together. We are all emotional driven people.
Well, this sounds like some hot nonsense to me, Carbon.
I don't think it's nonsense though. We're protected, yes, but we also don't know if there are more people that care about us,
Well, I mean, they didn't make a point of saying that they did before we left. So far as I'm concerned, everybody out there had their chance.
But does no one get another chance? Not even if they're somewhere else?
No, not now. Not after everything they've done to us. Everything we've been through to get to here, to where we are now.
And then Owen's voice probably gets a little louder and drawing attention. Then who are we to decide that we are better in any way? Aren't we supposed to be the ones better than them?
We are. We don't need to be the ones to decide because the fact is there. Laid bare for anybody who's fucking looking.
This nonsense is why they look at us like we are monsters. You realize that, right?
No, they look at us like we're monsters because they're afraid of change, and they know that we're better than they are, and they can't handle that. That's why we need to stay away from them, Carbon.
They're not the only ones afraid of change.
Well, if you're so unhappy here, you don't need to stay.
Actually, Owen contributes 27% of our labor force. If he leaves, we couldn't keep going.
I don't think I was asking you, Sadie, but
That's because
Thank
you
you.
don't like change. Excuse me, Spectre.
look, we came here for a reason. If you don't want to be here, then you shouldn't have to be. We didn't have to be out there, so we came here. If you don't want to stay here, you don't need to. We'll make do.
We all need each other. We're only going to get through all of this if we stay. We can't fight amongst ourselves.
Well,
We're all we
tell
have.
that to him.
You know what? You talk about living our gifts, but I think the gifters are right. Life was gift enough.
Well, then... well, if you think that, then, how about this? Go a month without making any of your copies, Owen. Let's see how much, how useless, how unneeded, how not part of you your gift is.
I never said it wasn't part of me. It's just not the only part of me that has value.
No one
And I
ever
walk
said
away. And then another Owen pops out and like does the middle fingers and then
it.
Backflips away, disappears mid backflip.
yeah, you did call me Owen. That's why Gabe was like, oh no.
You're in trouble.
So mad. So mad. I love it. Spectre probably just stands there for a moment and then like sort of looks around at everybody watching and is just like, what are you looking at? Sits down and keeps eating like nothing happened.
I was looking at my spaghetti.
Sure, Sadie.
That's what I thought you were looking at.
People.
Drama!
Yeah.
I like it. I love you, Gabe.
Oh yeah, this is fantastic. I love
That
it.
was so
I'm here
good.
for it.
There's nothing more satisfying than like a good fight.
It's the best. Just put it
That's
into
why you
my
play games with-
veins.
That's why you play games with friends, so that you can fight with them. And then when the fight is over, you're like, that was a good fight.
Yar.
Oof, who's got a word next?
Looking at mine, trying to figure out.
I have one that I think fits well this time.
Okay.
Ooh.
So I have two identical cards, but they have different prompts, so let me choose briefly. Okay, this one is evolve. It's an action. As pressure builds, we change in ways big and small. As we change, so does our language.
Ooh, yeah, these ones are, so these are action cards, which you play on something that already exists.
Yes. So I'm gonna play on an aspect in the current age and choose a word from a previous age. I'm playing it on the we must persist aspect, and affecting the Evo word. And the word is going to shift down to the new aspect and it's going to change meanings. And I think Evo doesn't just mean it's not just a greeting anymore. Now it means like I trust you. So not everyone uses it for everybody.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So it's like used as a greeting, but only in the context where it also implies some level of trust.
Yeah.
I like it.
And we don't make a word because that's how this card works. But we do have a scene. It's the tides of change pulling on us. I like to put them diagonal a little bit because I just want to watch the world burn.
It's like, as soon as you did that, like, part of my brain just was like, oh.
oh, why? Oh, God.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
I feel like so the tides of change pull on us is their scene prompt. And this part I didn't quite think through. So I think we could look at this factional difference a little bit more. And since the faction is mostly Owen, I guess Owen's got to be there.
Well, it's mostly Owen. Not Owen didn't create it, but now Owen is
27%.
spearheading.
I mean, Owen's a large portion of what keeps us in the air.
So I think Owen probably did make it. The reason he was saying something about the gifters was because he's trying not to give away that it's him.
Ooh, sneaky.
Oh, so this is a paper that Owen number 14 got from Owen number 7.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Have you been working on your calligraphy, Owen number 7? This looks amazing.
No.
That is fantastic.
I feel like the worst part is like he stuffs it in his mouth and then he disappears and it just lands on
It's
the
just
ground.
This needs to be a comic book, fam.
So good.
All right. So we'll have let's do a scene between Owen and Palisade to start. Someone else could
Okay.
pop in if they at some point if they wanted to, maybe to illustrate a difference. Hint, hint. And I just think this is like one of those classic people are coming back, and we're getting set up for takeoff. So like right between Seru and Census.
Mm. Owen, you seem.
Yeah,
Are you all right?
I'm good. I was rushing back. I not using my copies for a while, so I went out, but then I wanted to make sure I didn't get left behind.
Well, you're fine. You made it. You made it in time. So just take a breath. Evo, by the
Evo.
way, welcome back.
Thanks.
You're not using copies? Why aren't you using copies?
I'm trying to prove that my life is more a gift than anything else. It's not for petty reasons at all.
I'm not doing this out of spite, says man clearly doing something out of spite.
Yeah. And you
Right.
see him
Oh.
like also like holding the turtle.
Owen, I think your like personal communicator rings. Bring, 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 bring.
Oh. What is that? Hello?
Hello, Owen. Evo, it's
Evo.
Seti.
Hi,
Could you send
Seti.
down like 4 of your copies? We have a situation in the boiler room.
I have a cold, so they're coming out weird, but I can come do it.
All right.
All right, I will be down.
And he just drops the call.
Nothing. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
All
It's
right.
fine.
Well, don't. Things are changing around here, but doesn't need to change you. You're fine just the way you are.
I don't think I'm the one that needs to change.
I don't think so either.
Do you think that